was a gravel road when I was a teenager, and I'd be driving the tractor down here to the hayfield. Since he's taking the mailbox down, it's hard to see the driveway, but it's still here. And actually it's in pretty good condition from what it used to be.
Proceed to the route.
It was just a series of potholes, one after the other. And then my understanding, when my uncle first moved down here, he'd have to come to the road with his truck or one of the tractors and bring you back in. A regular car wasn't gonna make it. But since the logging company came in and took out a bunch of logs, they've actually improved the driveway. And yes, this is the driveway. This used to be pasture for the cows leading up to the house. My cousin needs to get down here and bushhog these fields. We had livestock, of course there was a gate right here to keep them from getting in the yard. To the front, all that was a garden. First time I came down here, we walked the whole perimeter. It's 100+ acres. I had much shorter legs then, and it was indeed a workout. I'm still in two-wheel drive, so this is not a difficult course. But I don't think anybody's been back here in a while. There's a pond down here somewhere. Oh, I'm not too concerned about scratches. I don't necessarily need any gouges in the paint, so this tree right here is gonna have to come out. Well, looks like the trail has grown up a bit. I need to determine whether I want to go to the left or to the right. Let's take the trail to the left and see what we get into. Still easy. Going back, I'm gonna take the path to the left again, which will be the right path that went to the right. There should be a pond at the end of this trail. Well, like I said, it's been years since I've been down here, so I'm not quite sure. And clearly he hadn't brought the tractor down here in a while. Open this path up. I'm going to need a new wax job. Haven't seen any critters. I'm sure once they hear me coming, they're gonna roll out. Well, that is end of the trail for driving. What is that sound? This is as far as I can get. As you can see, there's the fence line. And I don't know if that's his boundary. There's a gate right there that leads to another farm, or it's just where he had a portion fenced off. But down in the bottom somewhere there's a pond. And I'm gonna have to come down here with a chainsaw and make me a new trail one of these days. But now let's get turned around and get back up the path and go check out some of the other parts of the farm. So coming down, I went to the right. Now I'm gonna go to the left. Small gully, nothing major. Let's see if I even have to put it in full drive yet. Nope, handle that still. Didn't require four-wheel drive. was a chicken house where he incubated all his chickens. Would you look at what we have here? Now here is the hog pens. I suppose he had about 15 or 20 breeding hogs, I guess. That's when the sows were pregnant and they had their babies. He'd isolate them and lock them up in here until they were old enough to roam around. The fence is all gone, and you see it's well growed up. But shucks. My uncle passed 2007, and I want to say he even might have got rid of most of the hogs before then. So it's been a good 20 years or so since a piece of ham has set foot in here. But one time I was down here and he sent me down to feed the hogs, and in this shack right here where he kept the corn, it's his corn bin. And I was much younger, and so that floor was just about the height of my chest, I guess. He sent me down here, it was full of corn, and he told me to feed the hogs. Well, I opened up the door just like that. The shovel was sitting here, and by golly, if there wasn't a snake going over top the shovel. So I slammed the door shut back, turned around, walked back up through the house. He was still sitting there drinking his coffee. And I said, you're gonna get them hogs fed today, you're gonna have to do it yourself. He swore him down, there was no snake in there. I said, yes it is. We went back and forth a good 15, 20 minutes. He telling me there wasn't a snake, and I'm telling him that there was a snake. And I'm not sticking my hand back in there. Well, he finally came down, like say about 20 minutes later or so. And sure enough, he opens up the door, no snake. And he said, see, I told you Mr. Hawkins was no, he called me Mr. Hawkins, even though he was my uncle. He said, I told you there was no snake in there. I said, look, old man, I know what I saw. So I stepped back. He stuck his head inside and looked to the left. He looked to the right. When he looked to the right, there the snake was staring right back at him. Yeah, he came up out of there then. And he knew from then on I was telling the truth. So eventually I think he got a can of ether or something and sprayed it in there. The snake finally dropped on out by his leg here, and he was constantly beating it with the shovel. He finally, I don't know if he killed it or what, but we got it where we got it on the shovel. We threw it into the hog pen, and the hogs took care of it from there. I have many a tale of down here on this farm working with one of my favorite uncles. Lots of logging, lots of time in the hayfield, and then messing with the livestock, cows, pigs, chickens. This was it was a tobacco farm before my uncle got it, but he wasn't into tobacco. He was just doing mainly corn, hay, and some other crops, just to work them to the ground. So So this was an old smokehouse, I believe. And I think there was a trail here that led down to the original pond. He's built another pond since, but it looks like I'm gonna have to go back through and cut new paths through the woods back down to the ponds.